Records, George Michael, anything.
That's my boy!
Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander Worf, don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for people.
What?
What can I do? People know the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. The Unity Channel. Zero News to now. Tom Generation Next. It's gonna shine a light with you. Generation X.
Hi guys, Tom Fury, Zero News. Good morning. How you doing? I hope everyone's okay. Hey, Tina. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, for the first time at the beginning of a live stream. You're right. You're right. It's good to see you. I hope you're okay. I hope you're having a good morning. Listen, I've just been sitting here thinking, should I do this live? Should I not do a live? Really like that, because I don't know if I've got a problem at the moment, or if I'm just being normal and having a normal reaction to things. I suppose that's why I want to talk to you and like see where your head's at. In respect to everything that's happening at the moment. So I went to release let me give you some context. I went to release a video last night and I ripped it down because, and I'm glad I did. I don't normally take videos down, and if it's up for an hour or more, I have to leave it up. In my own standard I hold for myself is you've got to stand by it now. Even if you have to denounce it, you still have to leave it up. But if I take it down within the first hour, then... So I took it down because I realised I was angry. And I wasn't, I'm doing that very thing I said I didn't want to do. Making videos on emotion and not thinking and rationalising. And I just want to know... I want to tell you something first, then I want to know some thoughts on something. So, and I'll tell you what one of my problems is at the moment. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells again. And as I said to you a while back, I'm not here to walk on fucking eggshells. Like, there's enough things we can't talk about on YouTube and in life and by our own government's rules without then walking on eggshells about other things. I'll give an example. To make a mild criticism of Restore, or more actually, the Restore voters. I say voters. Let me put it another way. The people I've seen on X, because that's not very fair to say Restore voters, because most of them are just normal people. I'm talking about the people on X, because obviously the crankiest people shout the loudest, right? So I think that's pretty fair to say. Even like us YouTubers, we're the crankiest people, so we're going to have the loudest voices. So that's fair enough, and I realise that they're not representative of the whole. And so... to try and make a mild criticism of Restore, and I mean mild, really mild. Don't forget, I'm on board. I'm supporting them. the flack that you get back, it's interesting because it's like, hang on a minute. People keep claiming that they're now awake. And what I keep seeing is people jumping from one cult to another, to another, to another. They keep making things into cults. And a lot of people got a lot to say about, say, the UTK march, and Tommy, maybe rightly, right? But a lot of them put them in that position in the first place by putting them on a pedestal. And I always said 8 years ago, keep your leaders honest. But people don't. They put them on pedestals. When you put people on pedestals, and it's the same for our YouTubers, by the way. When you put YouTubers on pedestals, they lose grip of reality. They lose. And if you tell them they can never do any wrong, guess what? They start to believe you. And this is what happens to people. And I've seen it happen to so many people over the years. None of us are immune, by the way. That's the problem. It's human. It's part of human. You know who humans are, what humans are. So that's why we have to keep each other on. This is why I said to you the other day. I have someone watching certain things that I do to make sure I'm not losing my fucking grip, you know, or not getting away from who I really am, which is just the person who tries to speak his fucking mind. And it's like this whole UTK thing. Let me start with that. So, yeah, I might have my gripes about certain things, but for the average person that might want to go, if you want to go, go. Don't let people push you into going, and don't let people push you into not going. Like, it's a choice. It's a choice. And I think the only thing that, say, people like me might warn you of is just don't expect the world to change afterwards. That's all. That, from my perspective, it's just don't expect the world to change afterwards. If you can deal with that reality, fine, go have some fun. Because I'll tell you what, the last one was fucking impressive. There's no two ways about it. To be there, it was impressive. And the one thing I can say was the one fuck up was the being able to hear anything. Being able to hear anything. Now, the reason I'm on eggshells talking about any of this is because I've just had that debate before Paul Fort. So the obvious conclusion that people are already coming to is if I defend anything, or if I go against Restore in any way, he's had that, see, Paul Fort, come on. I criticise everything and everybody. That's what I do. Yeah, I also big them up as well, but you get my point. Question everything, exactly. So, I've lost my glasses, by the way, so that's really helpful, and that's put me in a great mood for this morning. Sorry, but, so you have people, you know, and what I've said in one of my earlier videos was, if you don't like the actual march itself or the people run it, fine, but there's going to be a lot of normal English people there. It's traffic you can use, even if you don't like the march. Say if you don't want to go to the march itself, that's, like, do something positive with the traffic. It's going to be a lot of people who are worried about their country, who are going to be around that sphere. Even if you don't like certain aspects of it, there's still a lot of people that, like, for instance, YouTube will be very busy. Social media will be very busy. And if you don't like it, you can pout and sit on the sidelines and say nothing. But what does that do for your cause? Or you can tap into that nationalist traffic, and even if you don't agree with the UTK march, you could still grab some of the people. Maybe get some extra subscribers to your channel, people that listen to your message. And that's a good thing. Everybody's got their free speech. And so what I'm trying to say is grab some positivity from it, because it's going to happen whether we like it or not. Whether anybody likes it or not, it's going to happen. So why not turn it into something positive, in as much as there's going to be a lot of traffic from around the world. It's a great time to get American people on your channel watching. It's a great time to get people in the UK on your channel. And when you do, then it's also a great way, say if you're supporting Restore, like me, it's a great way of introducing people to Restore that they might not be very used to. So there's two ways of approaching it. Just hate on it, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. Everybody's allowed to do their own thing. Or look at it from a point of view of there's an opportunity here to push a message, the Restore message. Not maybe at the march itself, but what happens generally that I've seen, the march happens, and then, few days afterwards, drop, and fuck all else happens. And that's what most of us really are only, for people like me, that's what my biggest complaint was with the last one. It wasn't the actual thing itself, it was what happened afterwards, which was the grand total of fuck all. But I do believe that's where we come in. I do believe that we can rush into that vacuum that's left and keep that traffic going, and perhaps promote things like Restore, which I think is important that we promote Restore to everybody that might vote. And that is going to be a hell of a lot of those people, whether you like it or not. That's going to be a hell of a lot of those people that UTK march. Now, obviously, they're not pushing Restore, but people are going to hopefully have open minds. Now, some people are going to be just fixed on, say, Ilis and Tommy because they're fans. That's fine. But I'm talking about a lot of people aren't going to be there for that. They're going to be there for other things, what they believe to be British culture, right? Whatever. That can be argued, right? But whatever. But the point being is, it's a massive amount of traffic. And as creators, as people trying to get a message across, you can grab onto that traffic. And I'll tell you what, the traffic does bounce around. I've seen it before for years. There's so much traffic that will go through these YouTube channels and through social media. You can grab onto that traffic and then use it for your own reasons. Or you can, like I say, pout, watch all that traffic go by, and then try and get your message out, and it'd be a lot fucking harder. You know? So it was unfair about what? What have I said about UTK that's unfair? What did I say that was unfair? I just said, see, this is what I mean. The mildest criticisms about Restore or UTK cause such visceral reactions in people. I'm not walking on eggshells for you cunts anymore, all right? I'm going to speak my mind. And if you don't like it, go away. Because I'm going to speak my mind. I didn't say the UTK march was bad, did I? I said it will bring a lot of good people together that we really might want to talk to. And we really might want to spread a message to them about Restore. My valid criticism, in which I bet you, even Tommy, wouldn't disagree, is that after the march tends to be fuck all. Probably because they've spent everything and done everything that they can, so there's nothing else they can do. But what I'm trying to do is motivate people, instead of pissing and moaning about that, to fill that space. And instead of blaming the march or blaming people and blaming UTK, is instead of just doing that, is saying, right, okay, so if we believe that the march will happen, it brings, like you said, brings people together, and then sort of drops off afterwards. That drop-off period is the point that people should be using for staging grounds, to push maybe more, like, a lot of people have talked about like county-to-county demos, which I think is a brilliant idea. I think having smaller demos all over the country would be great. But what a great stage, with all those people at that one place, what a great way to jump on that traffic. I think it's a really, I think like what I'm trying, and again, Capricorn, what I was trying to say earlier on to people was, they can sit and pout. If they don't like the UTK much, they can sit and pout about it. But how does that help anybody? Or they can use the positivity of it, and even if they don't like the march itself, because some don't, even if they don't like the march itself, rather than pouting and bitching about it, use the traffic and the good people, because it attracts a lot of good people from the public out. Like you said, brings people together. So use that in a positive way. Those people, whilst unified, are ready to do something. So keep them unified is my point. And offer things like Restore that many of them might not even have heard of yet or be familiar with yet. That was my point. Before I was shot down, before getting to finish it. Is that and let me give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the reason everything drops off after the UTK march is because they just don't have the money to do anything else. I don't know, right? I'm trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and not slag anybody. My point being is that whether you like it or not, historically, marches happen and then everything drops down to nothing. That's just the way it is. It's not me saying that as a criticism. You can look, historically, it's happened every single time. Yeah? So it's a great recruitment tool. It's a great way of bringing people together, I agree. But we're in a position now where we've seen this happen a few times, but we could do better. That's what I said after the last one. I was annoyed at myself after the last UTK one because I thought, God, what did you do to, when you saw things calm down, what did I do to keep the momentum going? Fuck all. And that's what I'm trying to get at is whether you agree with the UTK march or not, it's irrelevant. You're going to have a lot of good people there. You're going to have a lot of people from across the country there. We're saying we need to win hearts and minds. So I think what I'm trying to say is those people are there, we need to reach out to. We need to reach out to. Instead of making, because remember, you're talking about a lot of people going will just be normal members of the British public. Demonising them is fucking stupid. What if 3 million people turn up? I'm not saying they will, but what if they do? Are you saying 3 million people are all wankers? That is stupid. That's as stupid as some of the other things that I've seen recently. So to just smash the UTK in that way, you could actually be wasting the opportunity to get, let's say it did attract millions of people. You're going to alienate millions of people instead of opening up to the possibilities of things like Rupert Lowe, Restore, and other fixes for the country. So, I'll say this one more time. People can sit at the side and pout about the UTK, or they can disagree with it if they want to, but use the energy from it for good reasons. But sitting pouting about it, if you don't like it, helps no one, not even yourself. So all I'm saying to people is whether you're coming from the view that it's a grift, whether you're coming from the view that it's a waste of time, or whether you're coming from the view that it's great, whichever way you come from, there's going to be a lot of good British people there from the general public. And a lot of those people are going to be on YouTube, because everyone's on fucking YouTube now. Use it for good. Use it for good. You're not going to stop the march if you disagree with it. If you're one of those that disagrees with it, you're not going to stop it. So, and why would you want to anyway? So if you're not going to stop it, why not use it for some good? Even if you don't agree with anything that they do there. You've got the British public there. Are you trying to change the people who organise the event's minds? Or is it the British public that you're trying to reach out to for voting purposes and things like that? It's the British public you're trying to reach out to. So I don't see what good it does anybody's cause just to shit on it for the sake of shitting on it. Now, people making good critique of it or making points about it, that's fine. That's free speech. No problem with that. And it's like, I won't be going. I don't have the money, and I'm doing more things locally that I think are more important because they're community-based and they're structured on helping people and bringing the community closer together and trying to recreate community rather than allow the government to keep splitting us up. And that's where my attention is. I haven't got the money to do everything at once. So for me, I've got to focus on what I believe will make the most difference. Especially because I'm thinking more community-wise at the moment, borough by borough by borough by borough. I think that's important. I would love for us to do some kind of protest where the world could see a plane flying over Britain and every single county in this country had the flags up, had everything up, showing the world how we fucking feel. That's what I wish we could do. But I'm not in the one. I haven't got that kind of money, not got that kind of control. It's not up to me. But a lot of people could do that. They could do that 3 days after the UTK march, couldn't they? People who don't even agree with the UTK march could still use it for good reasons, and they could set up a demo 3 days later, small one, in every single county in the country. Are you seeing people do that? Or just pissing and moaning? It doesn't matter whether the people at the top of the UTK march are bad or good. The marches happen anyway. So, fuck me, the bitching is not going to get anyone anywhere. So why not reach higher? Why not reach higher and say, right, I believe in Restore, I want them to win the next election, and they've got an uphill battle. So why don't I cook up a demo? Why don't I cook up something in my local community area and then see if we can get the next community along to do it, see if we can get the next one along to do it, see if we can send another kind of message, and that is, they're not just in London, motherfucker, we're all over the country. We're all over the country sending a message to the world that every single plane, anything flying over will see. And we'll make sure of it because we'll fucking put one up there. But you get my point, or drones or whatever. But you get my point, right? By the way, this doesn't mean I'm suddenly defending it. Like, again, it's not about defending or denying. It's about it's going to happen anyway. So what are people trying to gain? Now, again, I've seen certain people being absolutely hammered. I think Dino Bain got absolutely hammered. And he's just having his, like, if he'd slandered someone or if he had committed libel, then different. That's different. But he didn't. He just gave his opinion. I'm not saying he was right. I'm not saying he was wrong, because it's not